G'day, I'm Paul. This is the new BMW X5. It has finally been revealed, and after we had a first look at the iX3, BMW has followed it up with another car that is on its brand new platform called the Neue Klasse, and that means this has basically the cutting edge of technology when it comes to electric car tech and also construction tech as well. So today I'm going to walk you through this. This is the iX5. It's the fully electric version. This will be coming to Australia in 2027, early 2027, but they will be launching a diesel, a plug-in hybrid. They'll be launching a petrol as well, so that will all be in Australia later on this year. We don't know pricing or any other sort of firmer details yet, so I'll give you all the high-level specs. But let's start off with the design. This is a controversial design because a lot of people, they look at car companies and the design changes they're making, they either love or hate them, and the iX3 was one of those. People weren't sure what to think, but when I saw the car in person, I genuinely thought it looked incredible. And this is another one of those that you have to see in person here to appreciate, I guess, just the dimensions of it. It is quite a remarkable car in terms of the way that it looks here and the way that it stands as well. Down the front here, they've continued that sort of LED trend that we saw with the iX3 with this sort of LED light bar that runs along the front there. The light up kidney grille here too, but if you have a look at this actual headlight design here, it's so different and looks like nothing else we've seen on a new car today. So you've got the X's there. Depending on which market you're in, these can actually just be vertical slats there, or this sort of X setup, which I reckon looks kind of cool in terms of the layout. The battery, I'm going to run you through some of the performance specs later on, but this is one of the biggest batteries you're going to find in a new car today. 140 kilowatt hours or thereabouts. Means it's going to have a driving range of just under 900 kilometers on, depending on which spec you go for. So it is some proper driving range, and it takes this from an electric vehicle you need to stop and charge frequently to a car that you can actually use for family purposes with towing capacity of just under 3 tons as well. Around the side here, look at these wheels. They go up to 23 inches in size. These are a set of 22s. This is going to be an important one as well. This car weighs a lot. And when you think about a car with a battery this size, we're talking about almost 3 tons. So they're really going to have to work hard on the ride here to make sure that it rides properly. That'll mean air suspension that is well tuned. Being a BMW, it needs to be able to handle as well. This platform also then needs to be able to support not only this fully electric application, but petrol, diesel, plug-in hybrid. There really is a gamut of requirements here for this thing to meet. So it'll be interesting to see how they actually sort of meet that task and whether this drives like a BMW should. A little bit different to the iX3, the door handle situation. So they've got these sort of wings set up here on the side. This helps with aerodynamics as well. When you think about an electric vehicle, the bigger the battery is, the heavier it is, so you can offset the weight of that and increase the range by improving aerodynamics. So this has a coefficient of drag of under 0.3, so that in the scheme of things is pretty good for an enormous vehicle like this. The bigger the vehicle is, the bigger the surface area, the more drag you have, the more of that battery it needs to use to actually propel itself and move itself along. So depending on which spec you go for, these will be motorised as well. So basically one little pull of that then swings that door open. Once you're inside the car, you can also do the same. You can also do the same with the key as well, so that the door will actually swing open. You can configure how many doors you want to swing open too, so a bit of a cool feature there. We've tested this before in the Zeekr 7X with its sort of swing open doors. Didn't really work well in the Zeekr, so hopefully they've done a bit more testing here than they have. Just a little point here as well on the Chinese brands too. You know, China is coming up so fast when it comes to these luxury vehicles, and as that comes up, so do the prices. And we have tested some of the more expensive Chinese brands, and you kind of don't feel like you're getting the value for money there. The interior of a $100,000 Chinese car kind of looks and feels as nice as the interior of a $30,000 or $50,000 Chinese car. So where the legacy car brands really need to make up ground here is with giving you those premium finishes. And when we jump inside the cabin, I'll show you some of the innovation they have there that perhaps we haven't seen on other brands before. You've got a panoramic glass roof up the top there. Now, this is the charging port, and one of the things I like in here is this little section here. So when you open and close it, what you used to have to do when it came to sort of unplugging was unplug, lift the flap up, close it, whereas this is actually quite an innovative setup, because once you want to close it, that'll pop back up on its own and then you can drive off. So you don't run the risk of driving down the road with your filler flap open. And then come around to the back with me, I'll show you the rear of the car. Now, around the back here, gone is the split tailgate design, which is pretty disappointing. That was one of the I guess, unique features of an X5. If you had a kid, you could drop that split tailgate down, change the kit on the back of it. You can kind of do the same here, but it's that sort of novelty has now gone, so you have a sort of fairly standard tailgate here. But I love this light design. So full LED that sort of wraps around the side there. It's a really impressive sort of thing that will look fantastic at night time. So this particular spec here is the X560. I'm sure they're going to have other variants rolling out as well, but this will be kind of that pinnacle in terms of driving range. So we will probably see something more affordable coming that will sort of target families who don't necessarily need that driving range or don't necessarily need such a big battery. Being on this new sort of battery platform and electric car platform, they have 800 volt architecture. You've got charging at over 400 kilowatts. To put that into context, it means that a big battery like this is going to be able to charge at a rapid pace. And that is one of the biggest issues with fitting a big battery to a car. If you don't have the charging capacity to support filling that battery quickly, you're going to be sitting there for ages at a charger. So they really have thought about that to ensure that you can plug a lot of energy into this. Again, at Beijing Motor Show, we saw the big advancements that are coming on charging infrastructure. This is the hardware that's being fitted to chargers around Australia. We're seeing the ability to have a megawatt of charging. So if you do have something like that, it means you're going to be able to support the big charging speeds that this thing requires. Now, I'm going to quickly show you the boot as well. Being an electric vehicle, you've got some decent underfloor storage here for things like cables. You do have a little bit of storage under the bonnet as well, but it's not massive. I think that probably could have been improved a little bit there, but it is one of the downsides of needing to make a platform that supports internal combustion and full sort of electric drivetrains. You kind of have to make compromises there in terms of storage, but this is quite a usable space there. Being that this has air suspension, you can also drop the rear to help load things into. I mentioned before, towing capacity of just under 3 tonnes with a brake trailer here on the fully electric car. If you go down the path of some of the more traditional internal combustion variants, you can go all the way up to 3.5 tonnes. So you can actually use this as a family vehicle and as a tow vehicle as well. But let's jump inside the cabin. I want to show you the interior, which I think really is just a tech standout on this car. Have a look at this interior. This looks absolutely sensational. So I love my tech, and this interior really kind of blows it out of the park in terms of technology. And a lot of people confuse technology for big screens. Big screen, yeah, it's handy, but you need to be able to use that big screen. And this is kind of where a lot of manufacturers really fumbled and dropped the ball. BMW, on the other hand, with their OS integration here, works incredibly well. And sort of debuted in the iX3 was this incredible screen that wraps all the way around the front of the car there. And you know, it really just takes the game forward in terms of functionality of your infotainment system, and having that stretch from side to side gives you everything that you need up there. You're able to change what is displayed up there. You're able to customize it to the exact way you want it to be seen, so that everyone inside the car can actually see what's going on. This central infotainment display uses version X or 10 of BMW's infotainment system. So really high resolution screen, very thin display there as well. And look at the shape of that as well. It's totally different to the sort of screen that you will typically find in a car today. So they've done a really nice job there with that integration. I haven't driven the iX3 yet, so I want to know what the infotainment functionality is actually like. Having played with this for a little bit here, it all seems to work really well. This will come with a dedicated eSIM when you purchase the car, so you'll have access to all of the sort of connectivity options here, which is important for that screen, which is your passenger display. That has things like YouTube, Spotify. You've got all the things that are going to keep you sort of busy and entertained, or your passenger busy and entertained while you're driving. It also has some smarts in it as well, so that the driver doesn't become distracted. They used to actually fit like a one-way sort of display on these, where you sort of sitting in the driver's seat couldn't see what was on there. They've gone with a different method this time around, using the car's internal camera. They're able to detect when the driver has taken their eyes off the road and has sustained vision on the passenger display. If that goes for too long, it'll basically give you a warning. If you do it again, it will stop that display entirely. So there are some sort of safety measures put into place there. But there's this whole sort of display here is really cool. I mentioned before, when you're inside the car, you can open the doors using this screen too. So basically, it brings up a display of the car. You press that, that will open the door for you. And then if you want to close it, you can press that as well. You know, BMW owns Rolls-Royce, which is kind of where a lot of this technology comes from. And also where this comes from. This I absolutely love. So this is stone, and you know, you only used to see this in quite expensive cars. This is now something that you're seeing in a consumer vehicle. It is incredibly hard to do. The fact that they've been able to mass produce stone inside cars now is great. And that's kind of leverage from Rolls-Royce. With Rolls-Royce, you can customize the interior of your car and really go to town on what materials you have in there. Stone is something that's available with Rolls-Royce, and having visited the Rolls-Royce factory before, the process that goes into making this is very difficult. So very cool to see that. It is very minimalist though. There are no buttons around here. And if you look at car brands, a lot of them are moving back to buttons. We're seeing with a lot of the Chinese brands are actually developing kits that you can snap onto your infotainment display to bring buttons back. So it'll be interesting to see how long this lasts and whether BMW gets that feedback from customers that they want buttons back on their displays. Other tech stuff here that is, you know, you look at it and you're like, why did people not think about this previously? MagSafe charging. This is just a no-brainer when you think about it. When you charge a mobile phone on a wireless charger, the bigger the gap between the phone body and the charger, the more heat you generate and the less efficient the charging capacity is. Then when you consider the natural movement of a car, your car moves around constantly, forwards, backwards, left, right. You're constantly varying that charging capability. When you have silly phone designs like this where the cameras sort of stick out, you increase the air gap. What a MagSafe charger allows you to do is basically just whack the phone down there. It magnetically holds it and it makes that air gap virtually nothing so that you're charging device to charger. So that is a great innovation. You're going to find that in the back seat as well when we jump behind there. So steering wheel as well, what a cool design. So this is an optional steering wheel. They'll probably just offer a standard steering wheel with this car as well. But I think if I was buying this, I'd probably have to go for the sort of spaceship steering wheel here because it just looks like nothing else you've seen on a car before. And that sort of wraps around to the rest of the cabin here with some of the Alcantara and the different materials you can get. Probably wouldn't go for the lighter color. You can see that's already starting to get a little bit dirty there, so I'd be going for a darker option here. But it is a really cool place to be seated, and you can see that a lot of effort has gone into the technology fitted within this car. And I've got my spec sheet here. I want to just run you through some of the highlights of each of the specs that we have coming. X5 60, which is the car we're sitting in now, we're talking about 141 kilowatt hour net battery, so enormous. 460 kilowatts of charging capacity on a DC charger, driving range 845 kilometers. So absolutely mega stuff there. Unladen mass 2,900 kilos, so it is a whopper of a thing. Combined output 425 kilowatts of power, 800 newton meters of torque, 0 to 100 in under 5 seconds. So this isn't the sporty model. That will be coming in the electric spec, but you do have an X5 40 xDrive, so that's internal combustion petrol engine. That'll do 0 to 100 in 5 seconds. A 40D, so the traditional diesel option, 6 seconds to 100, 2.4 tons, so they're all sort of fairly weighty as well. We've got a 50E, which is the plug-in hybrid version. That will do 0 to 100 in 5 seconds, and a fairly sort of punchy engine there. And then the M60E, which is the sportiest version, 4.5 seconds to 100. So some fairly sort of decent figures there. I'm going to jump into the second row and see what that's like, because X5 has always sort of been pretty good in terms of space for families in the second row. So we'll hop behind there, have a look at that, and I'll run you through another one of the cool features they've implemented there in the second row. Second row, look at this, plenty of room if you're an adult. This is sort of my standard driving position over here, so heaps of knee room. You can see it's sort of recessed there as well, so you actually have a divot if you do have larger legs. Nice and sort of comfy place to be. Love the pillows as well, very nice. This is the sort of innovation I was talking about before. So this is not a charger, it's basically just an attachment, but click it into there, and then for the kids, if they want to be watching their devices, this will magnetically hold that device quite strongly as well, so they don't need to be craning down here. I mean, you look at stuff like the Model Y, they've fitted a screen down the bottom here. It's so impossible to sort of use because it's completely out of the way. You've got to crane your neck down to look at it. This is a much better alternative, and you don't need any electronics and stuff like that. It's just a simple thing to plug into there. You've got a charger there as well. It would be nice if this was actually charging capable as well, but it's fine there just in terms of the phone. And then you have a MagSafe charger down the bottom there as well, similar to the front in terms of the way that it sort of clips in. So it's a nice place to be seated back here too. So this has been your first look at the new BMW X5. It's only been a very brief look. I am looking forward to driving this. Like I said, Australia next year for the electric one, this year, so 2026 for the internal combustion variants. We don't know pricing yet, but we have seen pricing for the iX3, and it is actually much sharper than what I thought it was going to be. So it means that the legacy car brands are looking at what is going on with the Chinese market. They're responding effectively, especially BMW on this Neue Class platform. Something like 40 cars either being launched or sort of relaunched on that platform over the next year or two. That is incredible progress, and it shows you that they have thought about this. They have been planning for this for a while, and they haven't been resting on their laurels. So they've put a lot of money into this, and I'm just keen to have a drive of it and see whether the experience matches the spec on paper. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you like the look of this? Is it a bit outrageous, or do you think they've nailed it? What do you think about the spec? What do you think about the battery size? It is a big battery. It would take forever to charge at home if you're on a 10 amp plug, let me tell you. So let me know your thoughts. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like it and you share it with your mates. But until next time, take it easy.